G'day, mates.
Awesome.
How you going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here, and we have Tim Taylor of LENNE, and we are here for another edition of the Bloody Legends podcast. That's what we're going with at the moment. So thank you very much to everybody who's joined us. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. It keeps us doing what we're doing. Jim, how you been, my friend?
I'm wonderful, sir. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's been a busy month, man. I'm feeling, because I was just saying before we went on camera, man, I'm still trying to get out of second gear after holiday mode. Went to Bali, Indonesia, which I rang you while I was over there sitting in the waiting room as well.
That
man.
was cool.
Absolutely amazing stay. I think like everyone else in the world, after going through fucking all the bullshit with COVID and everything else, it's re-examined life choices and where we are and where we want to be. So no, it was a hell of a lot of fun.
It's not every day you hear someone, you travel somewhere. It's like, I happened to go to Bali, or, it's like, I went to Gettysburg, down the street. That's a different thing. You know what I mean? But that's gorgeous. What did you do anything? How do I put this? Not like extreme sports, but like, did you do anything that was like exotic?
Yeah, we've done a whole lot of stuff. I went over to there's like a monkey temple there you go to, and there's just hundreds of little monkeys just running around doing their bloody
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, man, and it was cool.
Our new producer.
Our new producer, man, and it's cool. If you they're so happy to have tourists back over there because, like the rest of the world, they've had it so bloody hard. So we could sit here and go, let's travel around Australia. But for me, I was Indonesia and Southeast Asia in general has always been intrigued me to get over there. Not only the culture, but the people as well have always been super nice, because over here in Australia, we have a lot of Southeast Asian people come over here. I went to school with a few Indonesians, Philippines, a lot of Islanders and that. So when the opportunity come up, it was something that kind of sprung up on me. It's like, let's go to Indonesia for my girlfriend's birthday. And it's like, let's do it. Okay. I didn't even have my passport. So I had to go in and get my passport, went through that whole process, got my passport.
Okay.
It's like, bring on travel. You know what I mean? I even ended up drunk on stage singing Man Down Under. Men at Work, Down Under, dude. I'm like sitting there, they played the first chorus, and I'm like, man, that's so passe, Aussies record. I'm requesting that. And then they're like, do you want to sing? And then I end up drunk. Then next verse, I'm up there singing with them, mate. It was like automatic Australian thing to do. You can't help it. It's like, even if you don't want to sing Down Under, Men at Work, like, you're there.
You're like, come on, that's profiling. Yes, I know it.
Yes, I know. Yes, I can. I'm there. Let's do it, man. So, definitely a lot of fun.
That's cool. Like, that's rad though.
And extreme. And then whitewater rafting. We went down like that was pretty cool, man. Like, I'm not very good with heights, dude. I'm like, and you're like, how the fuck did he get on a plane and fly 38,000 feet? I don't know. Once you're on that plane, you're like, it's all right. I'm a bit of a nervous take off. But other than that, I'm all good. You know what I mean? But when you get to this, like, it's like almost like a big cliff, like drop straight into the Indonesian jungle, and they're like, you're going 200 steps down here, and the railings are like these rickety pieces of bamboo, just kind of a little bit of wire, and they're like, down you go, and you're like, okay, great, let's do this. So
this is where I die. This is where I die.
So it was definitely an experience, and a really, really fun, and I can't recommend it enough to people. Get out there, travel while you can.
And not the first time you'd been there, right?
No, that is the first time I've been there.
It was the first time. Okay.
I'd never traveled before. So, like, as I said, after COVID, it was like, I think everybody in the world, not only, for me, it was like travel, do a lot of choices. I think people have a lot of time to reanalyze who they were and where they want to be and what they want to do coming out of this. And me, I was like all the other millions of people around the world. It was like, well, where am I going? What am I doing? I think we had those couple of years to really reflect on where we were as not only a people, but as a society.
Yes. And that's probably to not only go somewhere you've never been, but to be like, wow, haven't been out for a while.
Yeah.
And, it was, you kind of get, when everything shuts down, it's like, it's like watching, it's actually a movie I had on our list, Doomsday, where everything was on lockdown.
Yep.
You know, they had that the walled city around London and all that. And I was like, is this, you know, it's crazy, but that's awesome. You got, you know, to get out and really do something rather adventurous.
Yeah.
I mean, from what you were telling me, I was like, holy shit, this is rad.
I'm looking forward. And there was such a great driver. We had this driver, Putu Widiasa. I've got to give him a shout out. He absolutely looked after us. He was so bloody amazing. We had him on the first day and he was just made us feel at ease, comfortable. We had another driver the second day because he was busy and it just didn't feel right. You know, I'm sure he's a great driver and that, but we ended up going back with the same driver and had him the whole time, added us on Facebook,
cool.
Took lots of photos. And when I go to Indonesia next time, I'll definitely be going through him. He's going to take us to the north of Bali. We're going to go see the dolphins and do fucking a whole lot of things. So that's on the agenda for next year. That's
very cool. Are you going to do like a yearly thing? You should make it a birthday thing for her.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And just, you know.
Yeah, well, that was the whole reason for the girlfriend. She had an absolutely amazing time. Went down to a place called Jimbaran Bay, and kind of beautiful bay. And you see, they've got all tables set up, and they got candles and that, and hired a band to come out.
You did it right, sir.
Yeah, I definitely did it right. Got some nice brownie points in there. This time I want to talk about movies. Last time we got sidetracked a lot with music, but for this episode, people, we're going to talk a little bit about movies. What have you been watching, man? What's on the screen?
Okay, so my wife and I we rented a few. We get some of the streaming services here at the house, and one we caught, which was amazing. It's one of my favorite actors with Ethan Hawke. Is The Black Phone.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna see that.
And I get it, and I want to say I hope I get this right. I think it's Scott Derrickson.
Yep.
You can fact check me. Who did, I believe, it was The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
That's a good movie, that one, babe.
Which I never saw a courtroom drama presented as a horror film, if you haven't seen that. But The Black Phone was so wild. And to see Ethan Hawke, usually, you know, he's such a chameleon actor. And to see him as a legitimate creep was really cool. And I definitely recommend that. That's definitely different. It wasn't just like a serial killer film, but it was also there you go. It was also it had elements of like supernatural, like I don't want to give anything away, but the boys' interactions that he has, so he's got the van there. Yeah, there's Ethan Hawke, and it's so surreally creepy. Like if you watch any of the the true crime series on Netflix about serial killers, they took an influence from that as well.
Yeah.
So it was quite different. So highly recommended that.
I must admit that's one that's grabbed my attention as well. One that I really want to watch as well. That's the thing, finding time to watch all these bloody movies. I actually went back and watched Kickboxer because that's something that's come up a fair bit. The story of Kurt Sloan and montage is plenty. I forgot Harry High Pants, man. I had to go back and watch it, not only because we'd mentioned it, but also done an interview with a guy, Joseph Azaya, which I really want to get on to talk Kickboxer sometime.
Absolutely.
He done a bleed like My Lee, kind of in the vein of, you know what I mean, Austrian Death Machine. It's all about Kickboxer, the EP. I think it's 5 tracks, and
awesome.
Each one is about kickboxers, like Kiss of Death, now Kiki, even 2, Kick the Tree, Stone City, and
Kick the Tree.
Yeah, I know, Kick the Tree, man.
Your shin hurts.
Yes.
Oh, your shin hurts just thinking about it.
Yeah,
but it was oh man, that's funny you mentioned kickboxing. So I was actually going back and I was trying to remember. It's so funny looking at guys like Van Damme and Seagal, who had a meteoric rise.
Yep.
Like every one of their films, and it's so funny. I love the Canon films or Golden Globus era of action films, because they were lit when you you know shit was about to go down.
Yep.
And it was like, you know what I mean? So like you had that, and then I can still hear that intro to Bloodsport.
Yeah.
And they're putting they're sweeping the floor, and then each fighter is doing their montage. And I was like, you never saw anything like that.
No.
And or at least for our generation, maybe a little, maybe older, like Enter the Dragon. That's pretty close. But that was, what was that, 73? But we, there hadn't been a really brutal martial arts movie that involved a competition like the Karate Kid. They're not. What do you think of with Bloodsport when Chong Li hits that guy's knee? He has that compound fracture.
What was that other one with Eric Roberts?
Best of the Best.
Best of the Best. That was it as well. That was another one, dude. That one I really remember as well, dude. Where they got the team together and they had that. Those movies, man, were just as you said,
rad.
Very
they were rad,
impactful, but also, you know what I mean. Like it also, I believe, like MMA where it is today. A lot of these movies kind of inspired these people,
absolutely.
like because not long after they had the UFC started coming out, the first original UFC, which was. If you get in and kind of do these fights like that, and they evolve from that. And I believe a lot of that kind of comes from these movies, Kickboxer, Bloodsport, people watching this.
Absolutely.
And, getting inspiration, going, man, we need to do a karate tournament like this. We need to do a ultimate MMA mixed martial arts tournament. Right.
And absolutely. But because then you took an interest in what the styles were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You never saw Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu until you saw Hoist Gracie.
Yeah.
And you're like, look at this guy. He just walked into a punch and he had him like a pretzel in a second. And when you're a kid and you're so used to seeing Chuck Norris, Cynthia Rothrock, I was going to say Corey Wen, you're used to seeing like the parry, this and this. You're not used to seeing it when you see a street fight like that, or when it's not as pretty as Hong Kong cinema makes it or whatever. It's like, man, he walked through hell to get that chokehold, but that was entertaining.
Yeah.
And it was, it was really
almost like the underdog too, like from those action movies as well. You know what I mean? That little guy come in with his karate gi, like he couldn't do it now, and you see him towards the end of it, everyone was already onto him with his gi, so he was getting knocked around a little bit. But it's like the action hero, you know what I mean? Comes down, his little guy comes in beating all the bigger guys, and as from those movies, the 80s and 90s action movies.
And look, what do you think of with Bloodsport? How he had that red gi and the black gi on? I was like, that was rad, dude.
Yeah, super rad.
Because you still go back to it, and he just wanted to honor his sensei.
Yep.
And you could see he was like, I'm sticking to traditional values and things like that. It was interesting to see that, that dichotomy between
best movie Eric Roberts ever made, in my opinion. Sorry,
best of the best.
Best of the best.
Absolutely.
That one, he done one called The Ambulance that kind of stuck with me as well. I don't know why that one did. Yes. I do got to mention, you do. I started watching Post-Apocalyptic Shark Commando. Tell the people you do a little bit with movies and sound as well, man. Tell us about that side of things you do.
I'm so proud. Okay, so ever since I was a kid, I wanted to. I love movies and TV shows. I always wanted to score them because my father's collection of records and things like that was soundtracks from movies. And I was like, that's very distinctive. And even the way I write with the band, it's not solos. It's very, you try to arrange it in such a way that would fit the totality of the song. Well, so I guess I've been doing it 10 years now. My fraternity brother was executive producer for this low budget horror film in West Virginia. And he was like, hey man, you incorporate things like heavy metal guitar, and then you have piano and bagpipes and whatever the hell you do. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, how would you feel about scoring a movie? And after I recovered from fainting, I was like, I would love to do this. This is great. And this is year, I'd say from, I think 2009, 2010 is when I started doing it.
Yep.
So I just, if I can, shout out to my friends, Sam Qualiana at Matroshia Productions and John Runna at JFR Productions and Richard Chismar at Cemetery Dance Productions. These guys, it's such a dream to write, to not only do I get to see their vision of what they've created visually, how do you make that sound like it does? So Sam did Post-Apocalyptic Commando Shark, which is exactly what it sounds like. And it's set during the Cold War. And it's a long story short, it's an anthropomorphic shark. Basically, I think it's my buddy John. I might be wrong on that. Forgive the cast member who's in a trench coat with a shark mask on. It's great. And basically the Soviets have created a shark, a humanoid shark. It's great. And but I took it, I was with my friend Adam Grabowski, who he's played with me in a couple bands, but he's an amazing sound engineer. And I was like, hey, I got this idea. I kind of want to combine very, very heavy, stereotypical Russian, kind of sound. So, but I wanted to make it a combination of like traditional Russian instruments, which I did. I had like balalaika that I downloaded and played keys on that. And I had percussive drums and things like that, but also 80s kind of synth. And I incorporated like synthesizer and things like that. Well, he had this great idea of, hey, he's like, well, what about subliminal messages? Like what they had during the Cold War. I'm like, I'm in, whatever you want to do. So he had this book, it's called Mission to Moscow, that was written in like the 40s and 50s about, there was an American diplomat that went over to Russia and found his findings about, what was going on over there. And there's little passages like, we will dominate. And it's we will overcome this and this and this. This was in the book. So Adam, underneath these synthesizers and the very, Cardinal of the Kremlin, Red Heat, if you remember that with Schwarzenegger. Yes. So I incorporated like choruses of the very foreboding. And then underneath that, he was reading these passages from Mission to Moscow, and he subliminally put it underneath like the music. So it was really an interesting one that we did, and it was really cool. But it's campy, it's funny, and it's you really appreciate not only the sense of humor, but the throwback to like old sci-fi.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. So it was pretty rad. Did you watch it?
Yes, I did. I did watch it.
It's different.
Yes, dude. I got nice and baked, had a nice big bowl there, and just kicked back and had it going the other day, dude. It's I know I've talked to you for a fair while now, and the love of movies is really quite present. I got to quickly throw. We're talking MMA. Red Sonja. Do you remember the movie Red Sonja? They're remaking that at the moment with
yes.
I only know that because Michael Bisping. I don't watch any sports but UFC and MMA. Sorry,
is people. He in it?
Yes, he is in it. He's been talking about it. He's currently over there making Red Sonja at the moment, which of course is a movie from what year was that?
I want to say it was
85.
85. Yeah.
Yep. There we go.
One of my favorites because one, I loved Brigitte Nielsen, and but one of my favorites, and I have to tag him, and he's one of my favorite actors. Is Ernie Reyes Jr.
Yep.
As Prince Tarn, dude. He's one. Him and his father are two of the best martial artists I've ever seen in my life. The poster alone, dude.
Yeah.
With Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
There we go. Red Sonja.
Well, he was only supposed to be a cameo as Conan.
Yep.
And he ended up staying. They ended up filming more scenes, and they said, well, we can't use Conan, so they gave him the name Calidor.
Yep.
But basically, he's Conan. So, but yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with that, eh?
I'm excited. I want to say, oh my gosh, it's oh my gosh, the director. I was going to say it's
3 days ago.
One of the wow, it says right here, Red Sonja reboot, Matilda Lutz.
Lutz, yeah, from Revenge.
From Revenge,
yeah. Wallace Day, Batwoman, Dragon as Dragon.
Okay.
Robert Sheehan from the Umbrella Academy as Dragon.
Oh, okay. Is that okay? That's
Bassett, from Solomon Kane.
That's what I was gonna say. MJ Bassett's doing it, yeah.
Yeah, dude, looks
awesome.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. I actually, I hit her. I didn't want to bug. I never want to bug, but I just, I hit her up and was like, anything you need, I will score whatever you want. So, that's gonna be sick, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
At least I think.
I'm actually liking some of these remakes that are coming out. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's good when they're done right. You know what I mean?
When they're done right.
Yes, and some of the reboots are really good. I also like a reboot. You know what I mean? A good reboot that's not going down the same. You know what I see some of these movies, and it's almost a step-by-step remake. I also like a good reboot as well. You know what I mean? Where they're doing something different with the character growing and evolve, like you've been talking that.
But
Batman with Robert Pattinson. It was kind of like back to the.
Did you finally watch
it? Yeah, it's like the old dark, gritty way Batman was originally meant to be. You know what I mean?
I felt like it was. I felt it was very much it wasn't exactly, but like it reminded me of the movie Seven. And Batman happened to be in it.
Yeah.
Like it's a very dark film.
Yeah.
And like what they did with Paul Dano, who's amazing. What he did with the Riddler.
Yep.
That was awesome. Like you're used to seeing like the Riddler's very none of that. He was like, this guy's a serial like bomber.
Yeah.
And killer.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like the element. I always like it in the Batman films when they include like the mafia and the mob.
Yeah.
And that was a big element. John Turturro and Colin Farrell, who I didn't recognize.
Yeah, it's the Penguin.
I was like, this is unreal. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like those movies from the fucking 90s and that with Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer and George Clooney. I don't know. It was very campy. It had that 90s feel, but it wasn't really.
They put nipples on the bat suit.
I know it wasn't really. I don't know. It wasn't Batman. I don't know. I didn't feel like a Batman. It just felt like some really dorky, I don't know, campy thing. So it's good when they come back to that character Batman and made him really dark, and that originally I think Christian Bale kind of done that, was a real dark, and they've just continued that on, and I really hope they keep it in that vein, because that's what Batman is, as more of a detective,
absolutely
dark film noir, crime noir detective. You know what I mean? Exactly.
I mean, and you have two in especially the second two of the Christian Bale series. You have two of the most. You can't take your eyes off Tom Hardy and Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger, sorry.
Yeah.
Incredible. You were like, I believe everything they're doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like reading about. I remember Tom Hardy. He was doing. I think he was on Alan Carr, and he was on a couple shows when he had just. what he just did. He might have just done Lawless.
That was good.
About the bootleggers in Virginia, and I don't think I can't remember my timeline. Was Mad Max before that?
Maybe. Geez, that Mad Max was good. I actually really bloody enjoyed him doing that, man.
Dude, he was perfect.
2015 was Mad Max.
I want to say Dark Knight Rises was a few years before that.
I think so too.
I'm getting my time right.
2012, about 3 years before.
3 years before. He might have done Warrior, I think, right before Dark Knight Rises. I know he did Bronson.
That was with the Aussie as well. Was in that the other Aussie? I'm trying to remember his bloody name.
I can see him. Joel Edgerton.
That's the one. Joel Edgerton. Yep. He's a good actor.
He's badass, dude. If we could get him on here, but he took when you don't. I think you only see his face in flashback for a few scenes with Marion Cotillard. The whole time he's got this, and it was so funny. I felt it. They had to redub his voice because it was very muffled. Yeah. But I felt that was scarier when they play. I mean, and the and the way he just had this very light. He never really raised his voice at all. No. And he just had this way, like
with that English accent as well.
Yeah.
It's that real dark, heavy English accent. Right. He is English. It just come across really bloody well, man. That was really, I love that. He's fucking unreal. Watch him in anything, man.
Just awesome. He might be my absolute favorite actor.
I really hope they do another Mad Max, man. I really bloody.
They're supposed to. I think it's called Furiosa. Yeah. But I think it's based on her. But I hope he does another Mad Max. Yeah. Because he was so good. Yeah. And I actually,
there was even a game for that I got really hooked into, dude, at the time that came out.
I bought it too.
Yeah, dude.
I bought it too.
Yeah, really cool.
It was, and it really fell under the radar.
Yeah. Yeah, dude,
but it was fun. really open world. But I like that you could like you could add to his jacket. He'd grow a beard. If you got into a fight, I remember I got hit really bad at one point, and he kept the cut like for a little bit. Yeah. So it was almost like real time, as if he needed time to heal and stuff like that. Oh, that's cool. You've played it too, though.
And remakes. I got to talk about this one quickly. Bear with me, people, as I share my screen. You probably all would have seen this one some stage.
Oh, yes. That's awesome.
I am looking forward to this, dude, and I like. I don't care, man. They've kept it in that. He's kept it in that same kind of vein. It's going to be over on Netflix. It kind of. Rob Zombie's good at paying. He's such a great filmmaker. He's such an amazing.
I'm telling you.
You can see he makes it from a position of being a fan of this.
Exactly.
So I'm really looking forward to
the
Munsters, because I used to come home from school and it would be on. It don't matter where you are. I'm probably the same as you guys. It would be on wherever you are in the world. You come home and catch the Munsters, be the Addams Family or Perry Mason and shows like that. So you come home and you watch these shows. So I'm really looking forward to what he does with this.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you said, he has his own vision for things, but you can tell you can tell he loves. You can tell his love for film and for TV. I feel like him and Tarantino, the way they make movies is very much, this is our love letter to what this was. So just about every other week, my mom and dad and I watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, just because it's perfect. And you really can tell he watched Steve McQueen movies. He was watching, Rawhide and Bonanza, or and the music that's in that. You could tell it was like, I'm going to create everything and throw it into one movie. It's so great.
Yeah, I watched that actually not too long ago, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's actually a bloody awesome movie, man. I love Tarantino.
Oh, it's killer.
That was like, literally, like you said, it was like everything kind of thrown in there and just kind of shaken up. And there you go, people. This is kind of my love letter to the scene of that time.
Right. Oh, it was great. And it was funny because when you read, you know, obviously the tragedy of what happened with the Manson family was horrific. You can't help but root for Cliff and Rick when they're laying waste to them. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, if only that could have happened. You know what I mean? And it's sad, but like I was reading about the making of it and the way Tarantino approached Sharon Tate's family and that, like, how are we going to present her in this light? And they were really apprehensive at first, and then after that they saw Margot Robbie and what she was doing. They're like, oh, this is rad. And I think they like lent jewelry, I think, to her that she was able to wear and things. That's pretty rad.
Yeah,
like when you go that far for a role. But I thought, yeah, that's awesome. I'm trying to think, there was a couple other remakes that were coming out. We're on a trend here.
We are, and we have. Wait up, let me see if I can find this one.
This looked good. Is this a series? Oh, it is a series. Okay.
It stars Jenna Ortega in the title role, Catherine Zeta-Jones. Yeah, Netflix series.
Oh, Louis Guzman. I love him.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, and Catherine's okay. Oh, nice. Gwendolyn Christie, Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones.
Yep.
She's bad, dude.
Yeah, Gwendolyn.
She's way bad.
Yeah, she is. She is. Christina Ricci. Louis Guzman, as you said, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Christina Ricci's awesome. Yep.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be awesome. And Christina Ricci, wasn't she the original Wednesday in one of the movies as well, like years ago?
She was in the original Addams Family.
Yeah. So
that I'm remembering. It's been a minute since I watched.
Tim Burton done that one. He's doing this one as well, I think.
He's doing this series.
Yeah.
Interesting.
From the imagination of Tim Burton. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. So
I'm looking up here.
Yeah, dude, we're both like furiously tapping away. It's cool, man. So you've not only got the Munsters coming, and then you got the Addams Family. They're doing that as well. I can see all the keyboard warriors coming out and fucking saying something. I've already seen comments about Louis Guzman, man. I think he's going to be great, dude. He's an amazing actor, dude. I can't handle
so cool.
This. I know we're violently positive, man, but geez, he's a good bloody actor. People, give it a fucking chance, really.
Give it a chance.
Half of these people like fucking sitting there complaining about it weren't alive when the Addams Family come out fucking anyway. So I don't know how it's affecting them and their fragile fucking personalities. Like, really, just come on, just see it with a whole new eye as what it is.
Right. It's like give it a shot. There's certain ones you wonder why you did it, but why would you do that? Like there is only, I'm going to say this for the record, there's only one person that can play Jack Burton, and that's Kurt Russell. And I kept hearing something, they were going to remake Big Trouble in Little China. Don't.
No, that
movie's perfect as it is. It was amazing. It was, I mean, you had him as, it was so funny. You had a guy that's a fish out of water, and the way he talks, and it's Kurt Russell's John Wayne impression.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's good.
The way he kind of sounds like this, my friend. It was him doing John Wayne, and so he would do that voice, and he had all this, like, I've been there and done that, my friend, what he really had. And you've got Wang Chi, who is supremely badass. Dennis Dunn is amazing. And but by the end of it, he's, Kurt is just trying to help his buddy. And in the end, he actually becomes a hero, which is really cool. But it's really Wang Chi's story too. It's the two of them. And then you I mean, what a great movie. Don't redo it. Just leave it there. That's cool. You know.
Yeah, definitely don't redo a Big
that.
Trouble in Little
Look at that.
There we go. Great poster as well at the time.
We got to get now. Listen, I'm going to order us a pair of of his T-shirt. Yeah. I think we ought to start rocking those.
We definitely need to start rocking those. I like Kurt Russell because at the time, as you said, you had like Van Damme and you had Arnold Schwarzenegger,
right?
And you had like fucking what's his name, deadpan Steven Seagal with one thing that he would do, and he would just do it half average, and people would go along to it. You watch him now, and it's kind of cringy watching the Steven Seagal movie, knowing everything that he's done as well. But I like Kurt Russell because he was like could be the Eddie man, you know what I mean? He was like not this big buff fucking, steroidal muscle man. He was just like
he's a dude.
He was just a dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was just,
but you still wouldn't mess with him. Ow. Oh, we were going back. We were talking about new films.
Yes.
It isn't such a new film, but I caught it. You ever catch Bone Tomahawk?
Yes, Kurt Russell, mate. Yes. Bone Tomahawk. Mate.
So after we talked to you quick, after we had talked to you, you had called me right as we were ending our rehearsal. We had a gig this past Saturday. We went to Mikey's house, our guitar player, and we had sushi and whiskey. It was a good night. Played guitars for a while. Well, I started. He was like, "Hey man, I got Netflix, I got Tubi." I was like, "I'm in." So I watched. Actually, this plays into our podcast here. Great. So I caught Bone Tomahawk, which is Kurt Russell, Patrick Wilson, I believe. Yeah, there you go. And talk about a Western that turns itself on its ear by the end of it.
Yep.
I haven't seen a genre change so abrupt since From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
And it was my wife talks about From Dusk Till Dawn. She was like, "Wow, this is cool. It's like a gang or a robber movie." Yeah. And then she was like, "What's going on? Now they're all turning into zombies and or vampires." I'm sorry.
Yeah, the best time to watch that is when it first come out and you don't know nothing about it, because at that time Quentin Tarantino was still, and Robert Rodriguez, they both done that together. Right. Amazing filmmaker in his own right. But when you watch that was kind of, he was just starting in. I'd seen Reservoir Dogs, and I knew Quentin Tarantino was just then, even in the early days, you knew he was a great director. People go now Reservoir Dogs, all that. But at the time when you first watched that, even Reservoir Dogs had that, but From Dusk Till Dawn, when you watch that the first time, dude, you know nothing of what the fuck's going on, man. It was really good. And I really couldn't stand George Clooney at that time, and he'd done that movie, and I'm like, I actually fucking like this guy, dude. Sorry, George, but it was because of ER. I'm sorry, mate.
Honestly, I think he'd agree, because he wanted to shed that. He wanted to shed that ER image. Yeah, because he was known for ER at the time. Now he had the neck tattoo.
Yeah, dude, the big tribal shit going on.
Right? You be cool. Everybody be cool. I was like, that's rad, dude. And talk about true anti-heroes though. Which is weird. He's a bad guy in that. Yeah. But he's not quite as bad as Quentin Tarantino in that, is he? Yeah, because he's a little rapey.
Yeah, man. It's creepy sitting there with that lady in the hotel room.
I was like,
dude, but he plays that Quentin Tarantino, man. He makes those movies with Robert Rodriguez. They made those. Even then, they were just so good. You could just watch that as a film. You know what I mean?
Right.
And go on that with a journey, and you just got. I was totally into that movie the first time I watched it. Like you said, when the spin, when they get into with the vampires and that, people, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's fucking unreal, man. Like, it is just unbloody.
That real. Movie is now, what was that, 94?
And what's that, Salma Hayek as well in there? Dude.
My Lord.
And
oh my gosh.
Machete, fucking Robert Trejo.
96.
Yeah.
So let's do the quick math 16. There. What is that? Whoa, is that right?
Yeah, I was 16 when I watched that, dude. That would have been 16.
I got to think about that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think. 10, 11, 12. I think I was 15 or 16. I can't remember.
Back when they used to have video rental shops. You go down and you rent a movie. You go home and chuck it in your Be Kind, Rewind.
Rewind. Yeah.
Rewind. Those days they're like, what the fuck is rewind now? Like they don't know. But
right. What does that even mean?
Yes,
you know. Did you have Blockbuster Video?
Yeah, we had Blockbuster Video. We had Blockbuster. We had all sorts of Video Easy. It was yeah, man, definitely. Blockbusters were one of the big chains. Yes,
correct. And then like if certain movies they had for a while, they'd throw them in the $5 bin.
Yeah,
those are the ones I'd pick up. Like, you know what I mean? They'd be like, oh shit, this is out now, But so yeah. Go back, Kurt Russell. Bone Tomahawk. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And in the same night. So one of my favorite things to do. I love just sitting, relaxing, watching movies, and especially after. I mean, we were riffing all day. Now it's like, all right, we're gonna crack one, and the other one I watched was called Broken City. And it was Russell Crowe, Marky Mark, and actually Catherine Zeta-Jones was in that as well.
Crooked police officers, is it, or
kind of? Yes,
a little.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah, Corrupt Mayor. That's right. Russell Crowe. He's a good actor. We're talking about South Sydney Rabbitohs too the other day.
I didn't change my shirt. I'm gonna start wearing that shirt.
Yeah, Broken City. No, I haven't seen that one yet, dude. I do got to watch that.
Yeah, it's that was really interesting. Marky Mark is a former cop that becomes a private detective.
Yeah,
and kind of a convoluted story, but it involves there's a lot of politics in it for kind of a detective story.
Yep.
So that was fairly interesting, I thought.
And another one everybody's been talking about, dude. Have you gone and seen the Prey movie yet, dude? Predator.
The new Predator one?
The new Predator, man.
It's amazing.
Dude, that was so fucking good. That was like, I was really, really impressed with that, man. As we were talking action movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger, man. That one was really bloody good. Let me see if I can share a little bit. Yeah.
I love the idea of with the Native Americans actually they're hunting each other, and that it's in a different time than modern era.
Yeah, it's really good, and she's actually a Native American actor as well.
He looks badass, man.
It was for me. I've seen them all, dude. That's my favorite one. Definitely, my favorite Predator. Like, I don't give a fuck, man.
Wow.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, it was good. That was great for the time, but this, it feels like they've attempted to do kind of the same thing. Like, second one was great too. I do have to
for sure
ode to that one as well. But this one felt like it was going back, and they've tried to recreate that atmosphere and that vibe with the Predator movies, and I feel like they really captured the essence of what the movie was about. She's hunting, and then she comes across this alien dude, the Predator, of course, and then this epic struggle it's just really, really good.
That's cool.
I feel like as well with the Native American culture, that's first and foremost as well. They've kind of, it's really good.
See, that's cool
as well for me. Really, really good to see.
It looked fascinating because it was like it seemed like it was a struggle between two hunters.
Yes.
Really.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And that's really cool.
It definitely had that vibe of the struggle between the two hunters as well. And she's already you know what I mean. I like the idea they went with a female as well for the part as well, because she's trying to, she's a hunter in her own right in this village, as you see, and then she's trying to prove herself among the other hunters, and she's the one like
that she's worth.
She's the one that stands up above all of them in the end, comes back, and she's like, dude, you just got to watch it. I don't want to give too much spoilers away.
No, I'll definitely log time with that. Well, that whole franchise is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that. I mean, God, we were kids probably when we saw Predator. And again, okay, we're on a trend here. Again, it's started. You know, we were talking about Bone Tomahawk, and then we went to From Dusk Till Dawn, and now Predator, where it starts out as one genre, and then what? Predator felt like almost like a war movie.
Yeah.
And because you weren't sure, like, I remember Dad and I did not read. I don't think we read, like, well, I'm too young to remember, but I think Dad had rented it because it looked like an older war movie. And he's like, oh, I dig Schwarzenegger. Commando was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and you're watching it, and then when you start seeing the camouflage, it was like, what is this? You know, and that's, yeah, Bone Tomahawk hit me like that. From Dusk Till Dawn hit me like that, and Predator did that, and that was really groundbreaking. Yeah. You know, for its time. But I always like seeing, there was some post someone said, they're like, now can we take Predator movies and put him put the creature in different eras of civilization, like Viking versus Predator, Samurai versus Predator. I was like, dude, that would be sick if you had different, the Mayan civilization versus Predator. Well, you kind of did. Yeah, we kind of did in Alien versus Predator. Remember that was in that temple? Yes. They kind of did do that. But that'd be a hell of a thing to go into. I did like the Alien versus Predator movies. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was a nice little twist.
It was rad.
The Predators one was really good as well. I liked that one where they got all the criminals and all the hard fuckers and chucked them on that alien planet.
I saw that once.
Grace from that.
I was gonna say the dude from that 70s show.
That 70s show, man. And
like,
I don't know if anyone's seen that, but spoiler, like, he ends up being the most twisted criminal of them all on there, right, which is a nice little twist on it all as well.
Right. Wait, was that Adrian Brody?
Yeah, Adrian Brody. Adrian Brody, right, on his way down. It was a good movie. I love that movie.
You don't expect him to be like a bad, well, not that he's not badass, but like in that he's like a sniper, I believe, or something. Yeah. I was like, that's awesome.
He's a great actor, dude. He won that.
I think he's awesome.
Was it The Pianist or something like that?
The Pianist. Yeah,
The Pianist, man. That was a great movie, man. Hollywood does seem kind of really fickle place now because he's an amazing actor, and then yeah, I do like the stuff he's done. He recently done, I think, a TV show a few years ago, The Shining. I think it was about The Shining, the original of Thistlewade or something like that. Or
oh, no kidding. Okay,
yeah, I can't remember. It was an obscure TV show. I'll have to kind of look for the name of it anyway. Chapelswade or something like that, about the original house and the owner of The Shining. Anyway, it wasn't too bad. Something.
Oh, obscure. I gotta check that out.
Yeah,
I like anything with an exorcism in it. So that's, you know.
An Exorcism. I did actually watch a trailer, The Devil in You, I think it was. It looks fucking, speaking of an exorcism, I'll see if I can find a trailer. It was really dark. I do like a good exorcism movie.
I'll open another beverage here.
Find it. The devil. Pray for the devil, that's it. Pray for the devil.
Pray for the devil. Pray or
Pray for the devil.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find it.
I'm gonna have to. Oh, Prey. Okay.
Yeah, pray. Look.
Oh, sweet. Colin Salmon, who was one in Resident Evil.
Christian Navarro.
Ben Cross from Chariots of Fire, and one of my favorite villains from First Night, Mulligan.
Yep.
If you remember First Night, I saw that in the theater, I think. This is rad.
Yeah, it looks dark as hell, dude.
Oh shit.
Yes, I'm a sucker for a good fucking exorcism as well, man. Lionsgate.
Yes, absolutely. Did I see Lionsgate?
Yeah, Lionsgate.
Yeah, they do the greatest stuff ever, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, there's Colin Salmon. There he is.
Yeah, man.
He's rad. Wow. Pray for the devil. Yeah, I'm in. I'm so in. Yes.
It looks dark, eh?
Right?
I like them if they're done well. You know what I mean? Like this looks.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
really,
I mean, The Exorcist. I mean, it set the standard.
it did.
But you're always excited to see, like, okay, how can they make this different?
Yeah.
And go back to Scott Derrickson. We're talking about the Black Phone when he did Exorcism of Emily Rose, and which was actually, it was more of a courtroom drama than a horror film. But man, I remember I saw that in the theater, right? And there was me, and I think there was one other couple that was in the theater that were sitting. There wasn't many people there because I think I went to a matinee.
Yep.
And I was sitting there, and the actual exorcism that you see in it, Jennifer Carpenter is amazing. And a lot of the effects, she was able to contort her body, what you see in that movie. And then when she's doing that, when she gets real close, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, I was like, what the fuck? And like, she's doing that. And there's one scene where the priest says, I want you to identify yourself. And she starts switching, like, the demons or the people that are possessing her. And then the last one, she ends it, and her eyes go like black, and she looks right at the camera, and she was like, I am the one who dwells within. And it's just her looking at the camera. And all I remember is the poor woman that was sitting over here. All I could hear was, she was crying in fear. And I was like, man, that really struck a chord. You know what I mean? And it's like, can you imagine? I mean, this was before our time. Like The Exorcist, there were people passing out watching this thing. Like, but you never saw anything like that where you had an innocent kid, and the way she looked and the voice and everything, and you're like, this is we're done here, and just crazy. Oh yeah, with this movie was rad, dude.
Yeah, Tom Wilkinson as well, isn't it?
Tom Wilkinson, who's amazing.
He's an amazing English actor, right?
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to say it's Scott. Yeah, it's Scott Derrickson.
Yeah. And then she was
yeah.
I can't remember her actress's name, but she's really, really good. Is it Jennifer Carpenter, you were saying?
Jennifer Carpenter, yeah.
Yeah, she's originally on Dexter. I kind of come across her.
Right.
She was the foul-mouthed sister of Dexter, man. She was unreal. She was like one of the best characters on there.
Right. But yeah, there's Derrickson also did Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes.
He's unreal, that actor, man. I liked what he done with the Sherlock Holmes movies. I just thought he was perfect. Killer. I can't see another Sherlock Holmes but him now, because I just thought they were so fucking good, those movies he done, man. The Sherlock Holmes, they were just bloody real. That's the one you need to be watching, not the one with Robert Downey Jr. Sorry, Robert.
I was gonna say, no disrespect. I like those.
Yeah, same. But
with something with Benedict Cumberbatch, and this is funny. Speaking of Benedict, right now all of the Hobbit movies are on streaming.
Yeah.
I had seen the first 3. I hadn't seen the second 3 with I'm sorry. Oh, forgive me. Martin Freeman.
Yep, Martin Freeman. He's good.
Martin Freeman. So I started last night. I watched The Hobbit, and that was awesome. I guess the second one was what? Desolation of Smaug.
Yep.
That's the one where Cumberbatch comes in and he's the dragon. And I got to catch that. So that's going to be, I think that's tonight's adventure. So that's going to be pretty rad.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, wasn't he in that as well?
It was what?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Was he in that?
Oh, Martin Freeman. Yes. And I was like,
the movie one, not the TV one.
Right. No, I know what you mean, because it's the one with what's that? Sam Rockwell.
Yep.
Is Zaphok's Beeblebroad with the shovels.
Yeah.
With the
I digress a little.
It was good.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it, man? And,
it was awesome.
Come back to creepy movies. Have you seen the one for that Smile movie, dude? I want to try to play a little band. This one looks creepy.
The Witch now?
It's called Smile.
Oh.
Let me go back a little. Here we go.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh.
It looks creepy as hell.
It does.
Kind of have that feel of Jordan Pell from like a little bit like you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Kind of
yeah. Oh my. Oh. Nope. Oh, not in the face.
Yeah, I know. It looks creepy as hell. Basically,
Holy crap.
trailer is she's a psychologist. She has a patient come in talking about seeing someone smiling at her all the time, and then she, then something happens, and then the psychologist starts seeing people smiling at her, like just this creepy, bloody smile, which puts my hospitality smile to shame, and I really don't want to start doing that to my customers. But it was like, dude, it looks creepy as hell, man. It looks different to me.
For real.
I watched the full trailer to that, and it looked creepy as bloody hell.
Who's doing that?
Let me go back into that Smile.
Let me see. Smile. So that's this year. I thought I saw
upcoming
Parker
American.
Finn.
Parker Finn. In his feature film debut. There we
go.
Produced.
That looks rad.
It does, doesn't it? Cal Penn.
That's unsettling.
Oh, it's got Cal Penn in it as well. Penn and Teller.
Awesome.
Penn and Teller. Was it? No, not Penn and Teller. He's
Harold Kumar.
That's the one, Kumar.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Penn and Teller.
Harold Kumar, dude.
They're cool too, though.
Very Harold Kumar 3. Yeah, man. That was funny, that shit. I remember when that was coming around, Harold Kumar, man. He's a good actor.
Oh my God, yeah. That's another one. We have a nice dichotomy going of stuff that's coming out and stuff that I feel like some of which I'm revisiting, but some of which I missed. You wanted to see it at the time, and then you kind of missed it, and that was like, oh yeah, that came out. I forgot about that. What was another? Going back to kind of a little bit of a throwback to like the old actioners. I just caught this one recently too, and I thought I saw it on your YouTube list there. Nobody. Yeah. With Bob Odenkirk, where he's the former assassin. That was rad, dude. That's one of the best action films I've seen in years. And it was like the dude from Mr. Show with Mr. Show and Bob. Bob Odenkirk. I was like, he was incredible.
He was, wasn't he? And the fight scenes and that were really bloody cool, man. He's a bloody amazing actor. And you see some of these comedians that were like primarily comedians to begin with, doing comedic roles, and then you see him now doing these serious parts like Better Call Saul. Right. Of course, we can't, Saul from Saul Goodman and all that. And you just see these actors and they're just unfucking believable. And I've always thought the same comedians, you got to be so good to be a comedic actor that you could bloody do anything after doing comedy, I reckon. Well, and look at what Robin Williams did, because he did stand up, and then you saw him in like Mrs. Doubtfire. The bus fight, dude. Yeah, that was rad. Like, it was brutal. And what's so funny? Oh, there's oh my gosh, Daniel Bernhardt, who's amazing, great kickboxer. Yep. And he's so unassuming, and then he's rocking the shit. Yeah. And I was like, God damn. But
it's so going back, comedians that went out of their element. And then Robin Williams did, I remember 2 films that stuck out to me that he wasn't funny, and it was Insomnia, and 1 Hour Photo. And I was like, he was very deeply into those characters, and you're used to seeing him like be, you know, like Hook. Oh my God. That's going back. I mean, we probably were what, 10 years old when that came out?
Yep.
You remember that one? I mean, like, he did that in Mrs. Doubtfire, and then he did all these other lighthearted movies, and then you see him as a very disturbed person.
Yes.
It just shows how good he is, you know?
Photo.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I remember it from Mork and Mindy.
Oh, God, yeah.
Mork and Mindy way back when. Nanu.
Mort calling Orson.
That
was awesome.
It was, wasn't it? It's unreal, man. Definitely Robin Williams, rest in peace, man.
Indeed. Absolutely.
Great actor as well. Jeez. Movies. There's some good movies coming out. There's definitely some good stuff coming out. Fletch, did you see that? Fletch with John Hamm.
Did I see John Hamm is going to be Fletch?
John Hamm is going to be Fletch. Like, John Hamm's another great actor as well. I did have that written, and that's there. Fletch Confess Fletch or something, I think it's called.
Okay, so is it an original story, or is it based off one of the novels? I wonder.
I'm not sure.
Because there's that whole book series.
Yep.
I actually showed Anna, my wife. We actually watched the first. Well, actually, no, both of them. We watched the ones with Chevy Chase. Those were amazing, dude.
Yeah. He was like the iconic actor for that time. You know, they had the action heroes. It was like Chevy Chase was the one you'd see in the comedy ones. Him, Dan Aykroyd. It's more fucking, yeah. Who am I thinking? I was going kicking myself. Fucking Groundhog Day. Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Bill Murray was the one, man. Bill Murray and Tom Hanks done a lot of comedic movies. He was another comedian that ended up going on to a lot of serious stuff.
Right.
Yeah, as well. So
one of my favorite Tom Hanks films is still The Burbs.
Yeah. There you go.
Satan is good. Satan is our pal.
Confess Fletch with John Hamm.
Confess. Okay. John Hamm's awesome.
Yeah, he's a good actor, A really bloody good actor. Mad Men, wasn't it?
Mad Men. He was awesome in The Town. That was another really good one.
He's good in just about anything he does, though, too.
Telling you. Like, oh my God. Yeah, and yet again, we're going back to, you know, characters or movies that they're having reboots of.
Yeah.
So to see Fletch being redone, that's interesting. Well, if you had something you want to see remade, what would be your choice there, Joy?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I feel really put on the spot now, man. Like, dude, I'd like to see a good Young Guns. Jeez, a good Young Guns. I don't know. That was like, remember that movie?
That was rad,
man. He was Lou Diamond Phillips. That was
Lou Diamond, right?
Yeah.
Chavez.
Yeah, man.
Right.
I don't know why I said Young Guns, but we're going with it.
Kiefer Sutherland. It was Doc Scurlock.
Yeah, dude.
That was rad.
A decent one. I noticed they did do a Billy the Kid that I have started watching on a streaming service down here. It's made by the same people who made Vikings. So I have started watching. I watched the first episode of it. It looks good. It looks more gritty, more real, you know. The Young Guns was a 90s movie, so, you know, it had that feel, late 80s, early 90s, so it was definitely in that kind of vein. And then they died and come back into the second one. I don't know how the fuck you managed that. Like, old man. Like, someone started getting a little fucking, we need to make some money off of this. Somehow Billy's come back at some old fucking
we have to go back
years later in the fucking desert or some shit. I was like, okay.
Smoke this pipe.
It's all good, man.
But well, it's funny. It's funny. I have this thing. I don't know if it's a musician thing or whatever, but when I look at certain records, there's certain things you try to remember things in your life and all that. But when you think of an album or you think of a song, you know exactly where you were in that time and place. I have the soundtrack
Bon Jovi
to Young Guns 2, which is John Bon Jovi.
Yep. Going down.
That's the one. But I'll tell you
the
something.
only good album he done, people. I don't give a fuck, Bon Jovi. You should have left it there, my friend.
I'm just if I can dig it up, I'm gonna ship it to you because I have the original booklet and everything.
It doesn't need another album. Only album you need from Bon Jovi.
That's it. But the thing was, he had like the best. He had all the greatest musicians in the world. Like he had like Tom Petty's band involved with it. But it was funny because the song that got known was "Blaze of Glory." Yeah. But he had other songs on that record that were sick. He has a song called Santa. Oh, it was so. And I remember the cover. He still had the feathered hair, and he had like very westerny, this and that. But I was like, this is a kind of it's campy, but it's a powerful, cool record. But when you're a kid, it's like, this is the greatest thing ever. Yeah. But I remembered it as a kid, but it wasn't. I remember at this point, I was graduated from college, and my folks and I were on vacation in Maine, up in New England, and we had to bring the place we were at was on a lake, and they had no internet, they had no cable, so we had to bring our own TV. And I remember I had taped a bunch of episodes of like Seinfeld and like stuff to bring up. And I remember there was a record store in the town we were at. And I remember buying 2 records. I bought that, it was Blaze of Glory, and Metallica Live Shit Binge and Purge, because they had a physical copy of it. And I remember that and listening to Blaze of Glory, and I was like, this is like, Bon Jovi should be doing soundtracks, because every song he does, it's larger than life. You know what I mean? It's so grandiose. And I was like, he captured all of, God bless it. It does have a campy feel for that movie, but it worked.
It worked.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and it was an album that I pulled out my late teenage years. It was always one, if I just fucking pull out some Bon Jovi, you don't want to scare the chicks away with some Brutal Morbid Angel or something. That was my go-to album. That one, because it was like, fuck, that one or a Def Leppard album. Go-to fucking bangers, man. No worries at all. That was like the sound of our 90s, man, for sure.
Right.
Getting some Bon Jovi.
Absolutely. But yeah, you remember those? You had those big choruses. You had the big you could montages. Sing every
so
part
amazed
of
for the montages. Coming back to the start when I was talking about Kickboxer with a montage, you know you're in for it when you get one of those big 90s montages. They walk along and they're like, it's coming. Yeah, I know. Just can't be said enough about montages and remakes. That's the show, man.
Right. I was we've been on a journey here. I know.
It. We have been on a total journey. Tim, this has been an absolute pleasure, man. I got to get ready for work, dude. What's been happening with LENNE? I noticed you have a lyric video coming out. We do have a lyric video coming out.
It is for the song Miracle. And I saw a cut for it. Lenny sent a preview cut. It looks really awesome. And what I really liked about it was we have pretty big choruses on that. Every time the chorus would hit, the letters would shake. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So
that is cool.
I'm pretty excited for it, brother.
Yeah, lyric videos are fun, man. I like that as well.
Yeah.
When people are still getting into the track and learning the songs, you can be like me and you can sing along with your bloody lyric video. So I had to give that one a shout out. Everybody, as I said at the start, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also head over to LENNE, throw that a like and subscribe. Jim also has Jim Taylor Music, I think. JB Taylor Music, is it? Or?
JB Taylor Music or Music. I
can't
remember which one.
Get along, and I've got mine, Jai, that Aussie metal guy. Please support We bloody love each one of you bloody legends. Thank you very much
Absolutely.
for sticking this through to the end. All look after each other. Jim, any last words, mate, you want to throw in?
I love you, man. And
I love
thank
you too, brother.
Thank you for doing this. It's just awesome.
Awesome, legend. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
Let's see it.